Port Cafe is back with new drinks and an on a mobile application.
Plus, new phishing scam is going around the campus, how you can identify them and what to do if you're a victim.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Nasir Mikul.
And I'm Julianne Fike.
Good evening, everyone. Beware of a phishing scam circulating via text messages. That's according to the email sent by SUNY Oswego Campus Technology Services. CTS says the message could pose to be from Oswego IT Help Center or be signed as helpdesk@oswego.edu.
It might even ask for your password information and verification code needed for multi-factor authentication. If you've already received the text message, CT says to delete it and report it as spam. But if you provide any information, CT says you should change your password immediately and contact them. With spring break coming up next week, the semester is at the halfway point and many students are planning for the summer. Whether that is an on-campus job or internship, Career Services is there to help students get connected with real-world experiences. Today, the Excel offices hosted an informational event to showcase the programs that they have to offer. Students joined in the Laker Lounge. They could walk around, grab food, and talk to advisors about different career-based learning opportunities. There was also supplies for coloring and to make vision boards. The Excel office is also having a Campus Opportunities Expo tomorrow in Marana Campus Center from 2 to 4 p.m.
7 SUNY Oswego students found their calling while immersed in the lives of refugee families. Students from Professor Sandy Barry-Gaynor's refugee wellness class spent their fall semesters working with families located in Syracuse refugee communities. They spent time teaching math to children and English to resettled families. One student even brought bracelets for children to make words and tell stories.
According to the data from Zillow, the Syracuse and Utica metro areas were in New York's top 5 for rent increases. The typical monthly rent in Syracuse was just over $1,500 in January. This is up by 6% when compared with the same month in 2024. Rent in Syracuse and much of upstate New York have been climbing rapidly since the COVID-19 pandemic.
The unauthorized strike of correction officers at prisons across the state of New York has ended after 3 weeks.
10,000 correction officers have returned to work after the state put together a third and final deal. Stephen Pappas has the report.
It's been 3 weeks since thousands of corrections officers walked off the job, demanding safer working conditions. Now, that strike is over.
We now have over 10,000 security staff working or available to work in our prisons across the state.
Monday evening, former strikers at Groveland Corrections in Livingston County cleaning up and heading back to work after a deal was reached over the weekend. Though 10,000 workers are back on the job, around 2,000 were fired.
The 2,000 plus individuals that were terminated today represents those individuals that were still striking at the 6:45 a.m. deadline.
DOCS Commissioner Daniel Marticello says despite losing those workers, the department still has plenty of staff to function and will now focus on safety and hiring.
It is time to turn the page. We'll start with a high-energy recruitment campaign, moving forward with a clear focus on stabilizing and resuming operations while ensuring safety and security in our facilities.
The final deal reached between the state and the union included a requirement for at least 85% of employees to return to work. While the state did not reach that threshold, the commissioner says it is honoring many terms of the agreement.
The governor and I are committing to honor the March 6th Memorandum of Understanding, including the HALT Committee, the 90-day HALT program suspension, the 12-hour shifts that will be maintained during this emergency as we continue our transition.
The doc says those who return to work will not suffer any disciplinary actions. Health insurance will also be reinstated for employees who have returned to work. Moving on to weather, I hope we're not being fooled. It was a beautiful day in Oswego today with temperatures feeling more like spring than winter.
If today's weather is any indication, I think spring is upon us. Let's take a first look at your forecast with Storm Team 10 meteorologist David Rienzo.
Well, while I can't say that spring is here, it is definitely around the corner with some increasing temperatures on the way, as well as some sunnier conditions for this week. However, this weekend, we are going to be expecting some cooler temperatures to move in, as well as the chance at some thunderstorms on Sunday and bringing down some temperatures. So while we're not in spring exactly, it's certainly seeming like we can just touch it. It's right there. I'll have more on my full forecast on some spring break travel conditions, but first, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, David. Rich and Poor, the student-run cafe located in Rich Hall, has come out with 4 new specialty drinks: blueberry pancake latte, a sweet syrupy twist on your morning coffee, Dubai chocolate, a rich luxurious chocolate blend, Georgia peach vanilla latte, smooth, creamy, and full of southern charm, and lavender matcha, a calming floral take on matcha green tea. Be sure to stop by in person or order on the Get mobile app.
This week, a total lunar eclipse will be visible throughout most of North America. The moon is expected to appear red, earning its name of Blood Moon. Visibility in central New York will be muted as skies are expected to be cloudy on Thursday night. Totality will begin at 1:26 a.m. on Friday for Central Time, 12:26 a.m. on Friday for Mountain Time, and 11:26 on Thursday for Pacific Time. But viewers are encouraged to start looking earlier.
St. Patrick's Day is this weekend, and Governor Kathy Hochul says it could be a busy one. Hochul announced yesterday that there will be an increase in New York State Police and local law enforcement patrolling the roads from March 10th to March 17th. Last year, there were over 900 people arrested for driving while intoxicated. Hochul wants to increase protection against drunken, impaired, and reckless driving.
Still ahead tonight, charges in the hyperbaric chamber death of a 5-year-old boy.
Plus, an iconic singer postpones a slew of concerns, including one here in central New York.
Or snacks with bizarre flavors. How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before. You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West First Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see?
All these clubs are looking.
They're looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free. Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
So today was absolutely beautiful. The sun was shining, and we had a high temperature of 60 degrees, which is 21 degrees above the average temperature for today, but pretty shy of the record set in 2022 at 72 degrees. But nonetheless, it was very warm, and that goes for much of the country as well. Most of the Midwest and central United States saw temperatures above normal, while some down south saw just below the average temperature. And right now in most of the country, we are pretty clear of sun and we are seeing some dry weather, some showers out by Maine thanks to that cold front. And now that cold front will bring in some colder temperatures. So for the next few days, we'll at least stay dry up until this weekend, where we will see some showers moving in late Saturday night into Sunday. And that could impact some travel conditions. So if you can, I would suggest leaving on Friday or early Saturday, because Sunday is going to be a mess. But the next 3 days are going to be pretty lovely. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, mostly sunny skies with temperatures above freezing, so a bit nice for this time of year. The total lunar eclipse is on Wednesday. However, it may be a little difficult to see because of some clouds moving in on the background. Maximum eclipse starts around 3 a.m., but most people will either be in bed or a little bummed to see that the clouds is covered. Tonight, a low of 31 degrees, cloudy, with winds coming out of the east. And tomorrow, a high of 36 degrees, so much cooler than what we saw today, almost a 20-degree drop in temperature. So if you were wearing shorts and short sleeves today, maybe add on a hoodie or even a jacket, because it will feel like a bit of a mix-up coming in tomorrow. We will expect some PM showers Wednesday, drying up by Thursday morning, and temperatures start to rise into the weekend, reaching 64 degrees on Sunday. Those showers will move in, so once again, if you're going home for spring break, I'd recommend either Friday or Saturday, and if you're flying out, either of those 2 days, but Sunday will be pretty messy. And then we start next week, if you're in Oswego, a little chilly start to the week, but then temperatures once again start to rise to those spring-like temperatures. That's all for my full forecast. I'll send it back to the desk.
Thank you, David. Billy Joel is postponing a string of concerts, including his upcoming concert in Syracuse, until 2026. Joel, alongside Police frontman Sting, were supposed to perform on April 11th, but have pushed back the concert to April 10th of next year. The announcement came on Instagram, where it was announced that Joel had undergone surgery due to a medical condition. The tour will resume on July 5th in Pittsburgh.
Do you have any guesses? The Oswego County Health Department will be hosting a weekly immunization clinic every Tuesday in response to the growing concerns about measles in the U.S. The measles vaccine, mumps and rubella vaccine, and a variety of others are being offered. Appointments are required and can be made by calling the County Health Department's Preventative Division at 315-349-3547.
4 people have been arraigned today in connection with the death of a 5-year-old boy in a January Michigan hyperbaric chamber explosion. A hyperbaric chamber is in a case pressurized environment filled with oxygen, making it highly combustible. The CEO and founder of Oxford Center has been charged in the death of 5-year-old Thomas Cooper. Investigators said the maintenance and safety checks weren't performed that day. 3 more people from the Oxford Center were also charged. There are no details to the cause of the explosion. Protesters took to the streets of New York after a prominent Palestinian activist was arrested for federal immigration authorities over the weekend.
Columbian University graduate Mahad Khalil was taken into custody after authorities said they were revoking his green card. Cheryl Hubbard has more.
A prominent activist who gained notoriety by protesting on behalf of others.
This is a nationwide movement.
Now has supporters protesting on behalf of him. Pro-Palestinian activist and recent Columbia graduate student Mahmoud Khalil, one of the most visible faces of the pro-Palestinian movement at Columbia University, now sits in a Louisiana detention center. Meanwhile, hundreds of protesters took to the streets of New York. Supporters say he's a political prisoner.
Let us be clear. Mahmoud has been detained for his political speech.
Universities cannot exist when students are persecuted, arrested, and disappeared for their political beliefs.
The Trump administration stands by the arrest. In a social media post, President Trump refers to Khalil as a radical foreign pro-Hamas student. He went on to say this is the first arrest of many to come.
This is a targeted attack on Mr. Khalil because he opposes
the politics of the Trump administration. It's retaliatory and it's a violation of the First Amendment.
The New York Immigration Coalition has also condemned the arrest, saying Khalil's First Amendment rights have been violated. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The Trump administration placed particular scrutiny on Columbia University and announced that it would be cutting the $400 million worth of grants contracts from the university.
Khalil is a lawful permanent resident, and habeas corpus petitions the challenges that validity of the arrest has been Khalil's behalf in New York. The National Transportation Safety Board announced today that they want to restrict future helicopter traffic near Reagan International Airport. This announcement follows the January 29th mid-air collision between an American Airlines flight and an Army Black Hawk helicopter. The NTSBA asked that the FAA to restrict all helicopters from flying near Reagan International when runway 1533 is in use. The FAA had already had restrictions in place immediately following the collision in January.
When WTOP-10 Nightly News continues, airline ticket sales are down. Which companies are being affected?
And Apple is planning a large software overhaul, what they plan on changing.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, your TV. Thanks for watching WTOP.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30? Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow.
Wow.
Get a close up with that one.
Matthew,
Broadcast news.
look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
Welcome back. In consumer news, Apple is preparing for one of the biggest software overhauls in company's history. The revamp aims to fundamentally change the look of the operating system and make the company's software system more consistent. The design will be based loosely on the software for Apple's mixed reality headset, the Vision Pro. The overhaul is due later this year and intends to transform the interface of the iPad, iPhone, and Mac.
The weather is getting nicer and spring is just around the corner.
However, with the nicer weather may come seasonal allergies. Mandy Gaither has more on what you can do to lessen the impact of spring allergies.
It's that time of year again. The flowers, the sun, the pollen.
If you wait until you start to have symptoms, those allergy cells are already starting to get unhappy.
That's why allergist Dr. Christopher Brooks with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says if you're one of the millions who suffer from spring allergies, prepare now to lessen and even prevent some symptoms before they get out of control. He says to begin using sprays. Saline can help clear the nasal passages, and a steroid nasal spray can help reduce inflammation.
Some of the generics are things like fluticasone or mometasone. So starting 1 or 2 sprays per nostril every day, a week before our symptoms start, will be a great place to start.
If sprays aren't for you, Brooks says to start a long-acting antihistamine pill before symptoms start. And once pollen is in the air, check pollen forecasts, limit outdoor time at peak pollen time, continue taking allergy medications, especially ones prescribed to you, and practice good hygiene like washing hands and showering after being outside.
If they're keeping you from sleeping or keeping you from, living your fullest quality of life, I think it's a great idea to talk to your doctor, whether your primary care doctor or allergist, to look for next steps to help you make you feel better.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says you can help your allergies by changing clothes after being outdoors.
You can also prevent seasonal allergies by keeping your windows closed and using high-efficiency air filters in your home. In the wake of many aviation accidents this year, 2 airlines say fear of flying is pushing plane tickets sales down. Delta CEO says the non-fatal crash that flipped upside down landing in Toronto last month is likely behind the travel pullback. American Airlines CEO said their revenue forecast for the quarter also fell after the American airline flight fatally collided with a military helicopter in D.C. earlier this year.
Coming up in sports, Michelle Smith.
Michelle, can you give us a quick preview?
With the Lakers taking the SUNYAC championship, Oswego secured a spot in the NCAA Division III Hockey Championship. For some, it's hard enough to keep track of just one playoff bracket a season. So I'm here to break down the upcoming tournament bracket with With Oswego defeating Plattsburgh for the SUNYAC, they won a bid into the first round of the NCAA Championship and will play against the Triumph Thunder of the Great Midwest Hockey League at their home arena in Indiana this Saturday. If Oswego wins, they will face off against Hobart, who earned an automatic bye into the quarterfinals. The championship tournament can be watched for free from the NCAA website, along with an interactive bracket for all those keeping tabs on our Lakers. That's all for now, but stick around after the break for more sports.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30? Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a closer for that one.
Matthew,
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Major Discussions. Welcome back. I'm Michelle Smith with more sports. The SUNYAC Trophy was not the only award given at the Deb this weekend. In a ceremony before the awarding of the championship trophy and banner, individual SUNY awards were given to players from both Oswego and Plattsburgh. The Lakers saw Brandon Cohen take home the tournament MVP, as well as 3 players being named to the all-tournament team. Plattsburgh's Lowen Bolger won the SUNYAC Elite All-20 honor and a spot on the all-tournament team along with 1 other Cardinals player. Pivoting away from hockey for a minute, the lacrosse season continues on with the men's team hitting the road against Brockport. The Lakers will face off against the Golden Eagles tomorrow for the first time this season. Their last matchup between the two teams ended 9-5 in favor of Oswego. Oswego heads into this game with a 10-13 conference record against Brockport since their first game in 2001. Oswego's coming off of a 7-3 win over Alfred State, and Brockport off of an 11-10 win over SUNY Potsdam. Headed downstate, as anticipation for the MLB season ramps up, the optimism many Yankees fans carried for this season is fizzling out. Coming off of a shocking World Series loss, injuries are racking the Bronx Bombers roster. The Yanks ace pitcher Garrett Cole announced he will be undergoing Tommy John surgery and will be missing the duration of the 162-game season. While Cole is optimistic he will make a full recovery and return for the 2026 season, his is not the only injury on New Yorkers' minds. Right fielder John Carlos Stanton has torn ligaments in both elbows after an outstanding playoff performance, with more players suffering minor nagging injuries such as arm and calf strain and back stiffness, which will hopefully be remedied by the end of spring training. Baseball is not the only sport losing stars to injury. Tiger Woods is going to miss the 2025 Masters after undergoing Achilles surgery. Woods was ramping up training to try to prepare to play in the upcoming Masters, but seemingly pushed himself too far, as he announced today that a sharp pain in his left Achilles turned out to be a rupture. Woods has not played on a PGA Tour since 2024, but this will be only the second time he misses the Masters since 2018. Woods has undergone a slew of surgeries in recent years, including back surgery in September of 2024. Stick around to find out which good dog took home the top prize for the world's biggest dog show after the break.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTOP.
Who let the dogs out? The world's biggest dog show was held on Sunday in England.
The top dog awarded went to an Italian Whippet named Mucha.
She's the first Italian dog to win and the fourth Whippet.
Mucha is 4 years old, and her handler describes her as the sweetest dog. Congratulations, Mucha.
Okay, Michelle, I know you're a big dog fan.
I am a big dog fan.
What are the skills you wanted to show off for us tonight?
I wanted to show off my tattoo with my dog. I know it's hard to see, but it's the first picture we took of my dog when we brought him home like 16 years ago now. He's no longer with us, but that's not the point. It's really cute and really fun, so I wanted to show everybody in the world.
So cute.
What kind of dog is it?
He was a yellow lab, and he was just like big and fat and amazing, and I love him.
Anyone else have any pets?
Yes, I have a black German Shepherd, long-haired. Her name's Frankie.
And you, David?
No, my dad's allergic to cat and dog dander, so he couldn't.
Guess we can't have pets.
It's a fate worse than death. It really is.
It really is. I love cats too, and dogs,
Yeah,
but we're
me
just gonna have them.
Yeah. How long have you had your German Shepherd?
I just got her in high school, so like 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hopefully you'll have him for many more
I
years to
know.
come. But that is our report for tonight.
Be sure to stay tuned for entertainment news.
Thank you for watching.
And have a great night, everyone.